Hi, I'm Kate from New York, and this is my story. Please like and subscribe. I was born to the CEOs of a multi-million-dollar aerospace company. I grew up with everything a kid could want, and then some. But I was practically raised by my nannies since my parents were always busy. They tried to make time for me, but I didn't really have their attention, and I craved it. I think that's why I was in such a hurry to start talking. I was forming my first words when I was only 1, and by the time I was 2, I could speak short sentences. And once I started talking properly, a rocket couldn't have stopped me. How was your first day of school, honey?
Oh, it was so good. I felt kind of scared, but then the teacher with the black hair and the green eyes and the big ears came and took me to class. And my classroom was so nice and it's all yellow and there was 20 kids and they're all my friends. That's because I gave them all markers and my first class was about alphabets and it was boring. And then I saw a boy's butt crack and I started laughing at it and the teacher looked mad, but then...
Sweetie, that's lovely. Why don't you just eat your food now?
I was at the best part, Daddy. Oh, now I have to start again. Okay, so my first day of school...
I just had this need to interact with people. I chatted to strangers in the park, at the grocery store, at the cinema. When my friends came over for play dates, I tried to make them stay as long as I possibly could.
But you haven't seen our basement yet. It's really cool and I think it's haunted. And you still haven't met my imaginary friends. Okay, how about I show you my magic tricks?
I even talked to people in my sleep. My parents found me exhausting, and soon my teachers started complaining about my disruptive behavior in class. I was tested for ADHD, but there wasn't anything wrong with me. She's very bright and just seeks attention a little more than other kids. It's not uncommon in an only child, and she'll grow out of it. Do you spend quality time with her? Well, we try, but we're very, very busy. The doctor recommended some activities we could do together every day, but of course, my parents couldn't keep up. Then one day when I was 8, my whole life changed. I got home from school to find my parents in the living room with a beautiful older girl who didn't look very happy. Kate, we have some exciting news. Come meet Lola. She's 11 and she's your new sister. She's my sister? But I didn't see your tummy growing, Mom. Where did she come from? Why is she so big? Why is her hair red? What? Honey, she's our employee's daughter and we've adopted her. I'll explain to you later what that means. Why don't you say hello and show her to her room? Lola still hadn't spoken a word, but I talked non-stop as I took her hand and led her away. And then she shut the door in my face. She didn't even come down for dinner later. My parents said she just needed time to adjust and I should give her space. I tried really hard, but I just couldn't fall asleep and crept into her room. I quietly opened the door and found her sitting next to a carton crying.
Lola, what's wrong?
Nothing. I was just looking at some old things and it made me sad.
Ooh, space boots.
My dad got them for me when I was your age. I always wanted to be an astronaut.
Well, you should. It'll be so cool.
Yeah, but my dad won't be there to see me become one. As the tears rolled down her cheeks, I suddenly hugged her tight and she didn't push me away.
I'll be there to see you take off on a rocket. I'll always be there for you, Lola.
Lola smiled, then suddenly hopped onto the armchair and held out a hand to me.
Want to take a closer look at the Milky Way? Welcome aboard the North Star Express.
We imagined flying through the universe, dodging meteors and alien spaceships, and it was the best night of my life. And I quickly grew to love Lola. She had long red hair that she let me braid as much as I wanted. She'd play with me whenever I asked, even if she was in the middle of something. And soon, I became as obsessed with everything space-related as she was. We both dressed up in matching Princess Leia outfits that Halloween, and everyone in the neighborhood agreed we looked incredible.
Let's be Buzz Lightyear next time.
Sure thing. Lola was an excellent student too, and she helped me with my studies. But my teachers still complained about my behavior, and Lola had a solution for that too. I used to get really scared of making speeches in class, so my dad showed me a trick. I'd hold on to a penny so I could channel all my fear into it. It totally works. So whenever you feel the urge to talk during lessons, just hold on to this and channel all your energy into it, and save all your stories for me. My parents were so proud of my progress, and they adored Lola. Life seemed perfect. But then Lola started high school and everything started changing. She cut her beautiful hair short and changed her wardrobe. And when I asked her to do something with me, she always had an excuse. I have a club meeting after school. I'm meeting up with a couple of friends. I have a paper to finish. Sorry. On the weekends, she started interning at my parents' company and we spent no time together. But the perfect opportunity came on my 13th birthday when my parents gifted me tickets to an amazing space park and even arranged a hotel stay for me and Lola. I'd barely seen her at home lately, so the next day at school, I ran over to her at recess. "Hey Lola, guess what we're doing on my birthday? We're going to Space World, and we'll have the whole weekend to ourselves. Woohoo!" This weekend? I completely forgot it was your birthday. I'm going to a concert with my friends. What do you mean? It's my birthday. Well, we can do it another weekend. But how could you forget? If you won't come to Space World, then at least take me to the concert with you. No way. No toddlers allowed. Of course I'm not bringing her. We always spend our birthdays together, Lola. What's wrong with you? You've changed so much, and now, will you stop being a baby? The universe doesn't revolve around you. I have a life, and it doesn't have to include you all the time. Why can't you make friends of your own? You're being annoying. Lola had never spoken to me that way before, and I ran off before she could see my tears. I hid in the janitor's closet and was crying my eyes out when suddenly I jumped out of my skin. A boy from my class, Jamie, was sitting on a bucket and casually eating his lunch. "What are you doing here?" I could ask you the same thing. "I'm crying, can't you see?" "I'm eating a sandwich. Can't you see? Do you want one?" This is really not a good sandwich. Oh, I know that. And I have to eat 2 every day. My sister never eats her lunch because she hates it, and I don't want to hurt Mom's feelings. But why are you hiding in the closet? Aren't you one of the cool skateboarding kids? Yeah, but I like being alone sometimes. I have 3 older sisters and the youngest one who practically lives in my room. She's so annoying. My house is almost empty and my sister's too busy for me. She's like you, I guess. She finds me annoying now. Yeah, so how about you back off a bit? And dude, your house sounds like heaven. Jamie and I became friends that day, and soon I started inviting him over. We'd play video games and have arm wrestling matches. He even taught me how to skate. And maybe he was right. I just needed to give Lola some space to fix things between us. Except they got so much worse. Over a few months, Lola changed into this person I no longer recognized. She suddenly ended the internship, saying she didn't want to work at my parents' company anymore. One day, I walked past her room to see that she'd torn down her Neil Armstrong poster and replaced it with Justin Bieber. She was never home for dinner because she was out with her friends, and even her grades began to suffer. Late one night in 9th grade, when my parents were away, I woke up to some sound and spotted Lola outside in the garden, kissing a strange boy. I sneaked out to get a closer look, but then they both climbed onto his bike and left. I hopped onto my bicycle and pedaled fast to keep up, and to my surprise, they ended up outside my parents' company and then started putting on ski masks and gloves. We don't have a lot of time. The security guards will be coming by in an hour. I'll get you into the system, and you have to make sure the software is completely wrecked, okay? Are you sure about this? Yes, I'm sure. Okay, just checking. It'll only take me 30 minutes, babe. Hold it. What do you think you're doing, Lola? Kate, did you follow me here? Yeah, and good thing I did. Are you insane? Why are you planning on wrecking our parents' software? Your parents are not my parents, and there are things you won't understand. I'm not a kid anymore, so try me. You wouldn't believe me if I did, but trust me, your parents deserve this. After adopting you and raising you as their own kid, they only adopted me to be your companion. They were too busy to deal with you themselves, so they dumped you on me. That's what I am? A burden you got dumped with? I thought I was your sister, and you've been my everything. I've always looked up to you, and now I don't even know who you are. I didn't ask you to make me your role model. And you're right, you don't know me. And you don't even know your parents. What do you mean? Please, Lola, let's just go home and talk, okay? I'm not letting you into that building anyway. I'll call security myself this minute if you try. Lola looked furious, then took her boyfriend's hand and left with him. Feeling shaken, I was riding back on my bicycle when I missed a speed breaker and went flying. My head hit the ground and everything went black. When I woke up, I was in the hospital with my parents, Lola, and Jamie in the room. Oh, thank God you're finally awake. We still can't believe that you went cycling out alone so late at night. If Lola hadn't found you. I looked over at Lola, sitting with her head hanging, and then she quietly left. I was discharged soon from the hospital, and I knew I just had to talk to Lola soon. But the next morning when I went to her room, she was gone. My parents reported her missing to the police, and they searched high and low, but it seemed like she'd just vanished. Mom, Dad, why do you think she was so mad at you guys? You must have some idea. Sweetheart, we don't know, really. We'll find her, and whatever it is, we'll fix it. But months went by with no news, and I almost gave up hope. I even shut out Jamie, and my grades were falling rapidly. I just wanted to know if my sister was okay. One rainy day, I was walking out of a coffee shop when I spotted a girl with red hair getting onto a bus, and she turned her face just a little. Lola! I started running after the bus, calling her name, but it just kept going faster. Suddenly, I slipped on a puddle and landed on the pavement. I looked up to see the bus getting smaller in the distance, and my heart broke all over again. Just then, someone helped me up. It was Jamie. He pulled me into a hug, and I cried like a baby. The girl on the bus? That wasn't Lola. I got off that same bus, and I saw her too. It wasn't her. Do you think Lola's okay? Yeah, I think so. She's almost a grown-up, Kate. You can't find her because she doesn't want to be found yet. Till then, you can have all 4 of my sisters. I started hanging out with Jamie again, and slowly I started getting better. By the time we graduated high school, we'd started dating. I began my degree in astrophysics because I still wanted to be an astronaut, just like Lola and I had dreamt. My parents asked me to visit them one weekend at their office, and when I entered, I was completely shocked to see Lola inside. She looked thinner, but as beautiful as always. Kate, we were waiting for you to start. Lola is here because she's suing our company. What? Why? Because your parents are responsible for what happened to my dad. What? When I started working as an intern here, I wanted to know more about Dad's accident at work. I looked into his records and realized that he'd been working 80 hours a week. Sometimes he'd work both day and night shifts. I'd hardly see him at home because you guys worked him so hard. You caused his heart attack. Lola, he never mentioned any medical condition in his records, and he requested to work overtime for extra money. It was his choice, but it's way beyond the legal limit, and you should have never allowed it. My parents stepped out of the room with their lawyer while my head was still spinning. When they returned moments later, my dad spoke. We don't want to fight our daughter, and you're right, Lola. We never should have allowed that. We didn't realize the toll it might take on him. We'll pay whatever damages you've demanded, with our deepest apologies. And we can't replace your dad, but you will always have a family to come to if you want it. Lola teared up and left the room wordlessly, and I followed. No, you don't get to do that again. You're gonna leave without even speaking to me? If only you talked before. I was so angry. I felt rage every time I thought about my dad and the life I never got to have with him. I don't want your parents' money. I just wanted to make them suffer, but I can see I've already done that. Maybe it was nobody's fault. Just come home, please. I can't, but I'll make plans to see you in a few days. I promise. And she kept her word when she met me at a cafe a week later with a beautiful red-haired baby. Is this your daughter? Lola then told me that she'd moved to another town with her boyfriend, who she was still happily with, and she'd put herself through community college to study engineering and had also been working on the side. I was so driven to save up for a lawyer to fight your parents, and I've caused everyone so much pain. Most of all, you. I am so sorry. You are in pain yourself, Lola. Just come back and be an astronaut with me. I don't think that's my dream anymore, Kate. It hasn't been for a while, but I'm so proud that you're pursuing yours. And I'll be there to see you take off on a rocket, and I'll always be a part of your life. 4 years later, I'm on my first mission to space, and my big sister's face is the proudest.